Hello everybody, and thank you for the chance to share with you this video today about the Popeye Club. This is about the equivalent of the national NBC program for Howdy Doody back in the 1950s, but in this case it was an actual Atlanta-based TV show. The claim is it actually lasted for about 14 years, and I guess that's even longer than Howdy Doody did. Began in 1956 and ended in 1970, and the reason for the video is to give really memorial to my sister. She had appeared in the show in 1970. My father took her up there to WSB's studios, and they put her on the show, but as of today I haven't been able to find any verification of whether the one videotape they released in 1988 has her in it, but it was called the Popeye Club Ooey Gooey Special. This is the only video that was ever released on home video as far as I know. Now this is Leanne. She was about 4 years old then. And that's about maybe 2 or 3 years before she appeared on the Popeye Club. But I wanted to do this homage to her and just to share with everybody about the show. It was very much like Howdy Doody. You had a puppet that was named Orville, and he was a dragon. And Don Kennedy portrayed Officer Don in the series. And again, I'm just reiterating the fact that it aired for roughly 14 years. And the claim made by Don in the video was that the station was the first to use an experimental color camera that RCA had developed about that time when color television started airing. So I guess probably they were using it around 1967 or 68. But there's only one segment on the VHS copy that is in color. And that's all they even showed on a 40th or 50th anniversary of the station in 1998. And anyway, I was lucky enough I recorded it off of the television at that time. Now this is the sequence that's on the VHS copy as well. There is nothing different as far as what they show. And they had different people who are on the show who actually did commentary about various things that WSB was airing. And this sequence here has Chuck Dowdle, and he was really mostly sportscasts, and he did the sports during the show's 1970s to 1980s, and that's during the time even when Fulton County Stadium was still there. And so that was the only excerpt I have of the show that was aired on WSB at the time that they did the 50th anniversary special. And as you see, this was also mentioned in the VHS copy, that he hated children, but they gave him an option. You either do the show or we're going to fire you. And he said that was all the inspiration I needed. To do an update to this video, I wrote to the production company that was listed on the VHS copy, and I got a letter back actually from Don Kennedy himself, who played Officer Don on the show. And in this letter you're seeing in front of you right now, he stated that the show is completely lost as far as there is no archive footage available. There is nothing left, okay? And look at the date of it. This is in March of this year. He said to me, nothing exists of the show. But yet, in that VHS copy from 1988 that was released, it was called the Officer Don Ooey Gooey Special. There's 2 segments that are on the tape. The first one was actually probably from around 1956 or 1957, and that's when the show started airing on television. I can see them having that because they kaleidoscoped it. But there's a color video segment, and this is probably around 1969 or 1970. And yet in this letter he tells me there is no footage of the show. It's gone. There's nothing there. Now, I'm going to add in my own personal assumptions here. I think personally he owns the rights to the show, and that's why he wrote back and said this in his letter, to say, nobody will ever see this show on video because I own all the shows and I'm not going to allow anybody to see them again. And that is why in itself he's lying to kind of cover his own regrets about the show, or the fact that he's like so many other people who are conceited enough when they do a show, they think nobody will ever see this again because I own the show and I have the choice to decide if it'll ever be shown on video again. And I mean, that's a sad fact that he said it. I don't feel obligated to ask him, why are there 2 segments in this video that you released and now you say there is no such thing, it doesn't exist. Now, another idea could be that he's saying this because after the VHS copy came out, that footage was lost. Maybe somehow another WSB threw it out, or somehow another it's gone physically, it's been lost, and what we have on the VHS is all that exists now. But I don't believe it, because in 1998, when they did the 50th anniversary of WSB's history as a TV station, it was in there. It was on that broadcast, and I was lucky enough that I videotaped it. And now he's telling me what you're seeing in this video is a figment of your imagination. He's saying it doesn't exist. He's saying none of that ever happened. In other words, all of it's just a made-up facsimile. You know, if that's what he's saying, I don't believe it. All of it looks authentic to me. Nothing in that VHS copy looked to be different than what the show was intended to be. And I'm going to leave it at that as far as this update, because I think everybody should be entitled to hear what happened as far as what he said to me. But that is his signature. You can see it on that letter. And I'm going to leave it just as that, because whatever this is, whatever his feelings about why he doesn't want somebody to see the show, I think it's sad, because my sister's murder is a fact, and I've got all the evidence I could possibly give him to prove that this happened, and I just would have liked the chance to have seen her in something as far as any of the footage, because when she was growing up, we didn't have a video camera. We had one of these old type Super 8 film cameras, and my father did some shots, as you saw, but nothing of her later in her life, because I think he got rid of the camera because it either broke or he didn't. I don't know. There's no footage of me. That's kind of like I feel cheated out of my childhood, because he never filmed me. He got Leanne up until about the age of 4 or 5, and then after that he got rid of it. And for Don Kennedy to say, well, there is no footage at all, it doesn't exist because everything was live, and then you got these 2 excerpts of 2 different shows from 2 different time frames, like the late 50s, early 60s, and then the 1970s. There's got to be more. There's got to be. There's no way they could have gotten that footage and then him turn around and say it doesn't exist. This is the reference again to them using the very first color TV camera system that was developed by RCA, and he didn't say what year they did it, but I would assume that's probably why they showed that same segment in color of that one episode. Again, that's why I'm doing the video, in the hopes that maybe if Don Kennedy ever sees the video, if he's even alive, that he might try to confirm whether Leanne was in it or not, but I'm sure they didn't keep records of who was in it. But the show was a really unique show, and I'm sure other major cities in the U.S. did things like this, but I just wanted to do it for my sister because she's now dead. And anyway, thanks for